Welcome to Faithfully Us, a space where faith meets family and quiet voices are heard. If you're looking for encouragement and real talk, you're in the right place. Let's walk this journey together. Hi, welcome back to Faithfully Us. So this episode, we're going to be answering a question that was left on one of our videos. The question was, I'd love to hear your take on intentionality. How do you make room, create structure, and manage day-to-day life? How do you make room for growth, dreams, and the hard things? So I figured we can kind of get into that a little bit about intentionality. And what our day-to-day, life looks like. So right now, Kamoy is working a different position. Um, same company, different position. So now he works 3/12s and he gets 4 days off. So that's actually for most weeks. And then once a month he has to work a fourth day. But for the most part, I mean, that works. He gets 4 days off. He can, he can do things around the house to kind of help out a little bit. I feel like he's home a little bit more. And right now, by the time when he gets off work, the kids are still up. So like, he can do bedtime and things like that. So I'm kind of liking the season that we're in right now with your schedule. How do you think having that schedule with 4 days off works for you?
I feel like it's working good uh, so far. And that's one of the reasons why I did it was because, hey, this is more of an opportunity to have weekends off with you and the kids, be able to spend more time at home doing stuff, having that quality time. Whereas with my other schedules, I was working Saturdays, and that was like a big day to have with the kids and with the family. And my days off were spent at home. So everyone
Yeah.
would be at school, everyone would be at work,
Yeah.
and then I'll be at home.
So we didn't
Um,
really have family time like
yeah,
that.
so I feel as though that'll be a lot more helpful. We'll be able to plan things a lot more, outings and family outings and stuff like that a lot better. I know for me, I was just another huge reason why I was considering making this change as well is because I was just thinking our son is now 10 years old. Before we know it, he's going to be in
Yeah.
college. He's going to be in high school. He's going to be in college. Time is going to go by so quickly because these 10 years have gone by so quickly.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make an intentional decision to spend as much time with him as possible, to be able to do things with him. He's been asking to go play basketball and stuff like that, and we haven't really been able to do that much. So just to have more time with the kids, be able to do more things together, and I think so far so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think regarding intentionality, I feel like, life can get overwhelming quick. And the days just seem to get shorter and shorter and shorter. And you have to be intentional with all the things that you're doing, right? I know we talked about, I think in the first or second episode, it was like, okay, but I have all these things on my to-do list, but sometimes you just got to focus on, yeah, time's running up, but go go play basketball with your
Yeah.
son. You have to be intentional. I think we're in the season of life right now. You have to be intentional about what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to accomplish things.
Yeah.
And right now family is really important for Kamoy and I, and spending time together as a couple, but then also spending time together with our kids. It's really important for us. So let's talk about, how do you make room for growth, dreams, and hard things? Like, how do you think, are we on the same page when it comes to like our growth and dreams? How do you think
Um,
we make
I
room
think
for
I
that?
think we are. I feel as though before we were both of us, I should say, were both career minded, individual career minded.
Hmm.
Whereas, you're in HR and everything, so you're like, okay, I want to do as much as I can, learn as much as I can,
And
climb
grow.
up the ladder,
Yeah.
things of that sort. With me, I knew with my one position that there wasn't really any advancement. So I made a
Yeah.
switch to go to a different,
Position.
not position, but I went to a different
Career fields.
career field, went into mortgages and stuff like that. And then that didn't work out. So I think now we're more aligned where we're trying to do something together, something that would have for ourselves, go into business for ourselves
Yeah.
and be able to, believe what's very important to us now is being able to leave a legacy, leave something for our kids, something that
Absolutely.
we'll be able to live off of right now, but something
Absolutely.
that our kids will have once they're grown and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
And I want to talk about that a little bit because that's how, so I work in HR, the field of HR. And, when I got into it, I had this plan, I was going to do this, then climb the ladder. And as I'm in it, and as I started to have kids, as we started to have kids, that wasn't important to me anymore. I could care less about, okay, by this time, I want to have this title. I don't care about that anymore. I think what I wanted was to make sure I have time for my family. That was more important. I don't want a job where, I'm constantly on call or
unnecessary stress.
unnecessary stress. It feels like I'm working when I'm at home and it's dinner time, but I'm still working because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that has changed for me. But now Kamoy and I are on the same page where we're trying to do something together
Yeah.
right now.
Because we also feel as though we have a lot of experiences. We feel as though we have a lot of expertise
In
in certain
areas.
areas, and we feel as though um, we're not really being utilized
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
best
yeah,
of
yeah,
our
yeah. I
abilities.
agree. I
So
agree.
we feel as though, hey, why we believe we have this belief in ourselves. Why not go do it?
Yeah.
Why not go prove what we could do and stuff
Yeah.
like that? So
I think what Kamoy and I both have heard in our careers is like, we wow, Kirsty, wow, Kamoy, these are really great ideas. I love it. Keep going, keep doing this, keep doing that. And it's like, okay, can we run with them?
yeah,
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
yeah.
And I think go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say it's hard. It's frustrating always having to rely on other people for growth
Yes,
and for
yes.
advancement.
And
And
hearing from other people
yeah,
saying, this is perfect, this is exactly what we need,
yeah.
but yet nothing
And
happens.
also in another vein, proposals that you make, you
Yes.
leave, or um, a year goes by and you find out they're using your exact proposal, which they said wasn't good enough.
Am I hearing some shade,
So
Kamoy? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. So it's like you made it seem like it wasn't a good idea, but then as soon as you had an opportunity
Yeah.
to run with it when I wasn't around.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the hard thing is like, when Kamoy and I are both hard workers. We give 110%, right? And it's like we're creative thinkers. Like we're hearing, we create policies and procedures and operations plans, and it's like, yeah, we love this, but we don't want it.
yeah,
Or you leave and then they're utilizing the thing that you created and no credit to you at
yeah,
all. So it's like we're doing all this, we're working for the man, and why, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like we're doing all these things and there's no pay, there's just added duties and no pay increase,
yeah,
you know what I mean, more stress,
yeah,
all those things. So it's like, why not take what we're good at
yeah.
and just work for ourselves and
Exactly.
create an environment for other people to come work with us, so they can have an opportunity
Yeah,
as well. So that's what we're trying to do. We're
yeah.
trying to, build this business.
Use our experiences and be able to build something that will last. So
Yeah, for ourselves and then for our family, and then we can work for ourselves.
mhm.
What about dreams? Do you think that's part of our dreams? Our dream is to have that. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
combine
it's
our
combined.
growth and our
Yeah,
dreams.
I think it's all combined, because we want to be like I know there's something I've been praying for the last couple of years is freedom of time,
Mm-hmm.
freedom of finances, and
Mm-hmm.
just freedom.
Yeah.
Not having to rely on, hey, I need this job.
Yeah.
Not not having to worry about, oh, what happens if I get laid off? What
Yeah.
happens if I
Yeah.
lose my job and things of
Hmm.
that sort.
What happens if you're working in a toxic environment and you
Hmm.
can't leave, or you have
Exactly.
terrible coworkers?
Yeah.
What
So
happens to that? So it's like you're stuck. You
yeah.
feel like you're stuck.
So just having more freedom, be able to control us a lot
Yes.
more, be able to control our family time,
Yep.
and
While
things that we
building
do.
something amazing.
Hmm.
What about, how do we make room for the hard things? I feel like, we don't necessarily make room for it. The
Yeah,
hard thing's gonna come in and
yeah,
push its
yeah,
way
yeah.
through.
That's what I was gonna say because
Yeah,
I don't think we purposely would say we make room for the hard things. I think as it comes up, and I'm not talking about stuff that we can foresee, but like things that just happens.
unexpected.
Yeah, we deal with it together. So we find a way to. I think I believe we do a good job now. Maybe not so much when we first got married, but I
Mhm.
feel as though when the hard things come up now, we
Are on
we
the same
always,
page.
yeah, but we always try to come together and talk about it
Mhm.
and try to figure it out together rather than just sulking and being okay. So why is this happening? And
Yeah.
not really trying
Yeah.
to go at it together. So
Why do you think we didn't do a good job when we got married? Do you think it's because pre-marriage hard things come up, I handle things just
yeah,
separately, it's my thing, you handle things separately, so now we're coming together and
yeah.
it's I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and it's like, okay.
I think it's a mix of different things. I
Mhm.
think it's that, meaning that you had your way of handling things, I had my way of handling things, and we were probably trying to do it our own ways. I don't know if a lot of people feel this way
Mhm.
or have this thought, but I feel as though when you think about getting married, you don't think about the hard things. You
I agree.
think that it's just going to be perfect. You're not going to have any issues. You're not going to have any problems, and you just it's happily ever after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know me going into marriage thinking about marriage before marriage, it was this happily ever after
Yeah.
kind of feel. So I feel as though just going through it and realizing that it's not all
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not everything is like what I said last episode. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have hard times. You're gonna have hard things come up, and you have to deal with it together.
And I think also why we think everything's good is because, when we're dating, I lived here, you lived over here, you handled your stuff at work and stuff. And, we could talk about stuff, but we weren't like
Together, we
together.
weren't living life together. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, so now that we're coming together, it's like, oh, that's how you do this. And we're two completely different people with different personalities and, different mindsets, for the most part. So it was just interesting. But I
yeah,
think over the years now we're in a place where, hard things happen and we come together and try to make it work.
yeah. And I think it's the mindset now because I feel as though a lot of times, and I don't think this is what gets a lot of marriages into trouble is that you see that things aren't going as you thought it would.
Mhm.
So you start thinking, oh, maybe I made a mistake, or maybe um, this marriage isn't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we need to find a different route or go a different direction and stuff like that. But I think the further along you get in a marriage, the more it's like, okay, we need to work on this. We need to do this together. We need to figure out a way, figure out an answer, and figure this out together.
Yeah. Marriage takes work. And I've seen, like I think people have a I don't know what you call it, like a fall safe or whatever. They have a plan like behind their back where, all right, if this doesn't work out, we're gonna get divorced. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that should not be your first
And
response.
I think some people do,
Some
yes.
people
But
no,
I
no, I'm
don't
not
think
saying
I
everybody.
think it's just that it gets to a point where you're like, "Oh, this isn't what I think it is." So you're like, "Oh, since it's not perfect, since it's not
What I had envisioned
yeah,
in my
since it's
head.
not I'm not happy right now, I
Mhm.
need to go find something that makes me happy. Find a
Right.
relationship that makes
Yeah.
me happy where I'm happy with that person."
Yeah.
So,
What about creating structure in our life, our family life and our individual life? I'm a planner. I'm a detailed oriented person. But I think I said this in another episode. The more kids we had, like that's kind of out the window. I could plan my day and it doesn't work out. And I'm at the point right now where I'm becoming okay with that.
yeah.
Here's the 10 things on my checklist that I wanted to accomplish. I don't know, the kids were doing this, so they wanted to do this, so we went to here, whatever. I didn't get anything done,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So I feel like we can try to create some structure in terms of, getting stuff done, but I mean, sometimes it doesn't
I
happen.
feel as though it's very hard to have. I think you structure the big things, but you can't really structure
The
because a lot
little
of people
things.
want to structure the little things
I
or
do.
the hour to hour kind of
I
thing.
like that.
So I don't. I feel as though you can't really structure the hour
Mhm.
to hour, but um, you have to leave room to get things done. So
Mhm.
I feel as though with us, what we do is that we have the things that we want to do, and throughout the day or throughout the week, we take care of it.
Mhm.
As far when it comes to business, we set aside some time
For us
every
to
like
talk.
week or so for us to talk about things that we're doing. If it's things that we need to take care of right away or things that we consistently have to take care of each day, we set time aside
And we
every
have to
day
be
after work and things of that so we can
and
come
we
together
have
and
to
talk
be
about stuff.
intentional about
Hmm.
that, because if we don't, then it's going to be 3 weeks of us not discussing, and it's
Yeah.
like,
And
okay,
you're always going to be tired.
you're always
You're
going to be
always gonna,
tired. One of the kids are not going to be asleep when they
yeah.
should, or whatever. Oh, I just cooked, so the dishes, like,
Yeah.
we gotta, we have to be intentional on the important things, whether it's spending time with each other, spending time with our kids, um,
Spending time alone.
spending time alone. Yes. Talking business, talking strategy, whatever, family time, whatever it is. I think we're at the point, because of our jobs, because of the kids, they're in different age groups. We have to be intentional
Yeah.
about it for sure.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I feel like some people feel as though they have to have everything structured to be successful.
Hmm.
And I feel as though, yes, in certain things you do have to have that structure, that rigid structure. But I feel as though when it comes to family life, yes, you have to have
You have to be
an
fluid.
outline. It's more of an outline
Yeah.
of what you want to do, not
Yeah.
really a planned structure.
Yeah.
Because things are always going to come up with kids. There's going to be there's always something.
Yeah.
So
I'm also going back to something, a passion of mine that I've been wanting to do for years now. And I have to be intentional about setting time to do those things. And I think that's where I am. That's where we are right now. It's like, get it done.
yeah,
Put your phone away, get it done. If you want to accomplish this goal by the end of the year, you got to sit down and do it and get it
yeah,
done. So I think that's where we are right now.
yeah.
We're both, individually, we have things that we, want to accomplish, but then together we have this big thing that we want to
Yeah,
accomplish
and
as
they
well.
say you always make time for what you love,
Yeah.
so you can always find time in the day to do what you really care about. So
Yeah. And I think also, if you're struggling, pray about it. God can really help. I think another thing that's really important is, being happy, right? I feel like in some situations you are unhappy sometimes without even realizing it. But when you try to get out the situation, or when you make a conscious decision to do something about it, your mindset shifts, and it's good. It's healthy. I'm in a place right now where I want more happiness, whether that's, um, in my personal life or in my career. I want that. So I have to be mindful and intentional about what I'm doing to get that happiness.
what do you think was preventing you from being happy? Are you talking about happy overall, happy personally, happy work,
I think
happy?
happy career wise, because I feel like, I mean, there's so many different factors as to, is it the job? Is it the people? What is it? I've gone back and forth about, do I want to stay in HR? HR is very exhausting. Do I want to stay with the current company that I'm with right now?
Yeah,
There's just a lot of things. But then I've made a decision that, in order for me to be happy, this is what I have to do. And yeah, it comes with some uncertainty, and that's crazy. But then at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. Mental health is important.
yeah,
Um, because you don't want to come home from spending 8 hours at a job and you're just exhausted or drained, or you're in a place mentally where it's just not good for yourself or your
yeah.
family. So you have to make a decision to do what's best for you.
Yeah. And a lot of people would say that happiness comes from within or that you create your own
Hmm.
happiness. But I feel as though, yes, it does,
Hmm.
but also your environment has a lot to say with your
Yeah.
about your happiness. So you can be the happiest person in the world, but if you're in a negative space all the time, if everyone around you is negative,
Yes.
everyone is unhappy, everyone is trying to bring you down, all you hear is negativity, then it's gonna affect your happiness.
Yeah. It's like
So
what we talked about last episode is friendships, right? If you have a friend, if you're in a friendship where it's like they just keep dragging you down and it's affecting you, then maybe it's time to end that.
yeah,
Just like how, if you're in a position in your career that this is not bringing me happiness. This is I feel drained.
Yeah.
You get to work and and don't get me wrong, right? Like it's work. So
Yeah.
so there's going to be times where you're drained
Yeah.
and you're just tired. But if it's like every day and you come home and it's like, who is this person? This isn't me. Then I think then you have to like think about, what do I need to do to get back to how I was
Yeah.
before?
And not to say, I'm not saying that this is you at all, but I'm just a thought that came to mind is that when you're in that unhappy situation, in that place or environment where you feel unhappy, it's I think it's important to take a second and think, am I contributing to this as well?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, just say, hey, am I part of the problem?
Am I the problem?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So because sometimes it could be you could be
Mhm.
contributing to it
Am I the
subconsciously.
problem?
I don't think you are, but but like I can see certain, again, not speaking about you, but being in certain situations where you unknowingly contribute to it.
I agree.
If it's always an area of negativity, you
Mhm.
guys are talking about a coworker or whatever,
Mhm.
you're contributing to that being a negative environment.
Mhm.
So I think it's important to take a step back
I
when
agree.
you're feeling that sort of way, because you could be contributing to it. But then if you find yourself feeling like that and knowing that it's out of your hands, it's out
Yeah.
of your power, I think it's best for you to change your environment.
Yeah.
So
And, talking to somebody about it would help. If you have a spouse or partner or a really good friend, talking to them about it, somebody that could give you constructive feedback, right? Like not somebody who's going to tell you, oh, no, it's them. They're the problem, but somebody who could say, you know what, in this particular situation, you shouldn't have done this or you shouldn't have done that, or writing it down and then going back and reading it because, you let it all out, you write it down. And then you go back the next day and you read it. I was like, maybe I was.
yeah.
Today was not. I was a little grumpy that day,
Yeah, I
and I
just need to
said,
fix my attitude.
and I just need to
Yeah.
fix my attitude. But I really think that if you're ready to change your circumstances, it's a long and hard thought and mindset just to make sure you're doing the right thing. Well, thank you so much for joining this episode of Faithfully Us. This was just an episode of us answering a question. We asked that, give us more questions. We would love to talk about whatever it is you have, what questions you have. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. We're on Spotify as well. Ask us questions because we would love to answer more questions, because this was not one that, I don't think we thought about. So this was really great. So thank you for asking that question. But yeah, we hope you have a blessed day.